Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites. How you doing? Apologies for slight tardiness. Y'all know how it is sometimes, but I was not willing to not do this show because this is really important. Just doing a little bit of housekeeping. Okay. Sorry, I'm still doing just a tad bit of housekeeping, just a little bit, because I wanted to find certain things. I was looking for the exit poll chart for this year's election. For whatever reason, I can't find it. Anyways, that's a little frustrating because it's kind of everywhere. I saw it and then, but whatever. Bear with me a little bit, y'all. Okay. So I wanted to talk about this election that we had. Let me get to these. Hey, how you doing, Miss Take Heed? How you doing, sis? Thank you for your super sticker. Dream Killer, thank you for becoming a new member. I appreciate it.
Now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
Thank you so much. In my new groove said Kamala brought out all the superstars. I mean, it was like a Marvel's movie. It was Kamala and the Avengers, and she still lost. And thank you, Pharaohs. And news says older white women handed Trump the victory. Feminism backfired big time and hard. I wonder how the holidays are going to be. There are several different things going on. I'm not going to touch all of them in this particular live stream. But this election was interesting. The reason I was looking for the exit poll chart was because it demonstrated by race and gender who voted for whom and in what percentages. And the one that I saw and the one that most people saw had Black men voting for Harris at probably about almost an 80% clip, and Black men voting for Trump at about a 20% clip. Black women, however, voted in the 90 percentile, because I think only about 9 or 10% of Black women voted for Trump. So we'll say 90% they voted for Harris, 10% they voted for Trump. And shout out to Pink Book. I'm going to use one of her videos real quick.
On one, because these Kamala feminists are falling out all over the internet streets.
This morning I woke up to a text from my mom that said, "Hang in there, girls. I'm so sorry about the results of this select."
I don't relate to you. I don't relate.
Especially today, I just need to do a nice little.
This is not okay. This is not okay. This simply will not do. And this is not okay.
This can't be real. This can't be.
I'm sorry. No. Why?
I just woke up this morning and I checked the news. And I know that there are so many people that are devastated right now. And I just want to say,
Kamala, na. Hey, goodbye. Na. That's why I'm not thinking anything. How can I you won't think something like you don't think something like I understand how you gonna think.
You have a bunch of over emotion.
Once again, shout out to Pink Book. Shout out to Pink Book for allowing me to utilize the clips of the video. So many clips. It's not just her channel. So many channels have compiled these clips and they're funny. The clips are funny. Just because, I mean, the types of foolishness. Let's see. Hold on for a second. Okay. So I wanted to share this as well. All right. So this was the exit poll. Okay. So it's showing Hispanic voters. This was for Trump. Hispanic voters at 45%, white voters at 55%, black at 12%. So just about 12% of the votes that black men. So here we see black men at 20, black women at 7. I saw that at about 9 at one other place. Initially, I saw 9%. The black men at 20%, that's been consistent. Okay. The Democratic plantation is very strong, but the plantation itself is weak. This last election nearly has broken it. And for the purposes of this show, And going forward in most of the things that I see or say in the next probably coming week, I'm going to come from the perspective as if Republicans and Democrats operate completely the way that we think that they should be operating and think that they do operate. So I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of the corruption, this, that. I'm not going to go down. I'm going to stay as much away from that as possible because I want to illustrate my point better. Because the people who are stuck on the plantation believe that they believe the Matrix. So we're going to be in the Matrix, and I'm going to talk about it like the Matrix is real, if that makes sense. Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense to you. So where do I want to start? For many years now, okay, the Democratic Party of the 80s, of the 90s, is not the same idealistically nor agenda-wise that they are today and over the past maybe 2 decades. We'll go back 2 decades. I could probably go back longer than that. I can probably go back longer than that. Longer than 2 decades. But we just gonna say 2 decades. Okay, last 20 years. Okay. The Democratic Party was more left-leaning than the right. It was considered the left, and Republican Party was considered the right. Okay. It had been long just the assumption of the general layman, the general maybe uninformed American or voter. If you weren't into politics, if you didn't know who all the players were, it was thought to be the party of, while left-leaning, it was also thought to be more of not extremists, if that makes sense. They weren't extremists. We've kind of been caught up in this thing where the right has always been demonized as the extreme. They're racist. They're going to bring back Jim Crow if you let them. All this other stuff. The left was always presented as, we're going to save you from that. We're more moderate. We're more understanding. We're not going to allow the extremism and all of that type of stuff. Are y'all with me so far? What happened and what's been happening is that the Democratic Party is extreme. They're the extremists. They're the extremists. It went from people should be able to enjoy rights equally in America, no matter your ethnic background, no matter your racial background, no matter your cultural background. Everybody should be able to have generally, the rights not to be overtly discriminated against over things that you can't control or religiously or things of that nature. But now they're extreme. For all intents and purposes, the Democratic Party and the way in which it presents itself, the ideas that it promotes, and the concepts that undergird those assertions is the personification of radical feminism / Marxism. The way these women are behaving online for the world to see is the personification of it all. Kamala herself was a personification of everything wrong with the Democratic Party. To run on social issues isn't in and of itself problematic. But when you start to neglect other concerns of the American public, when you start twisting people's arms about it, forcing people to be politically correct, quote unquote, now you can't say nothing about the rainbow. One of the examples of how extreme liberals became in this country and overall the Democratic Party, okay, is they had people shook with saying that men are men and women are women. When Ketanji Jackson was being questioned pending her Supreme Court seat, and they asked her, what is a woman? The fact that she had to talk about all of this jargon and use all of this jargon, this legal loophole, I'm not going to say what it is. The fact that she even did that at all is a key example of the derangement that exemplified and personified the extremism of the left. Twisting people's arms about it. Trans women competing in women's sports, and you just had to smile about it and suck that up as if that were normal. To normalize things that we know are not normal. To say something is true that we know is not true. And to have to acquiesce, at least in public, so as not to offend and not to, all this other stuff. To such a degree that to say a woman, no matter if you call yourself trans, you can never be a man or a woman. You can never transition. You can never actually transition. You can go and get an elective surgery, and you can put a costume on, and you can put the dress on, and you can do all of those things, but you're not a woman, no matter what you do. Like, it became considered radical to say that, or prejudice to say that, or extreme. You were going to be extreme if you just came out and said a man can't turn into a woman and a woman can't turn into a man. Like, I don't care what clothes you put on. I don't care what surgery you schedule for yourself. I don't care. It cannot happen. Biologically, physically, it is impossible to do so. It's impossible. There's nothing you can do about it. You were born male, and nothing you can do. You were born a female, nothing you can do about it. I don't care how you, quote unquote, feel. I don't care how you, I don't care. You feel how you want to feel, but the reality is the reality. It was the conflating of feelings and delusional mindset with reality. I just wanted to kind of lay that groundwork a little bit. Because I want people to understand the level of delusion and how this election has broke the illusion to a large extent for most people, except Black women. Except Black women. Black women were unable, okay? Black women were unable This was the exit poll that I was looking for. Let's see. This. Black women voted for Kamala, voted Democrat at 91%. 91%. No voting block was higher. No voting block was higher. Look at the other women at 60%. White women was low at 37%. Other races, look at. This right here is why Black people is in the shape we in right here. Right there. 91%. 91%. The consistent voting against the interest. The consistent voting against the interest of Black people at large and for them being women. Here we have again, ain't I a woman? All over again. Ain't I a woman? Going for she's a woman rather than this is what the vote should be like for the interest of Black people at large. See, the reason why Black people are in the position they in as a group in America, one of the biggest reasons is how we vote and how we see politics and how we interact and interface with politics. Letting the women who we know to be delusional dictate how we vote as a bloc consistently against the benefit of Black people. Everybody can only be in delusion for so long. You cannot keep beating people with it. You can't keep going upside the heads of people with foolishness. They get tired of it. They get tired of it. The reason why there was a red wave isn't just, because white people voted in it. It's because everybody's tired. Everybody tired. We tired of feelings-based stuff. We tired of not living in reality, and we gotta vote based on how we feel about it. And then we gotta vote based because we scared. You scared of the Republicans. So you can't vote for them. After Democrats tell you how inept they are. How many times did Kamala get up somewhere and tell everybody that as a Democratic administration, they were unable to get this law passed and that law passed and this thing done because the Republicans, if you're that inept and the Republicans are that strong, we might as well replace you with them. Because the only thing you telling me is that in the face of you don't know how to interface with your own government. You don't know, you as the president and the vice president, you all don't understand how you are to interface with the Senate and the House of Representatives. You don't know, as the executive branch of the government, you don't know how to interact with the legislative branch of the government in order to get certain laws passed. You don't know how to do it. That's all you telling me is you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you are doing. You don't know how to talk to the Senate. You don't know how to take the floor and articulate that we need this bill. This is why we need this bill. Appeal to them. And it shouldn't matter if these are the Republican senators and those are the Democratic senators. It shouldn't matter. You basically trying to tell me you reinventing the wheel every time. How many Democratic presidents have had the Republicans is a party in the United States. That's the other party. You gotta talk to them. You gotta talk to them. Y'all gotta communicate. The reason that you can't get nothing done and you can't get bills passed is because you bloated with all kind of foolishness in the middle of the bill. And then what you do is you present it to the Senate and the House real late so they can't read over 800 pages. So I'm supposed to vote yes on something that I can only get past the first 25 pages. We're not doing it. And on the 26th page, I saw something real crazy in that bill. We're not voting yes on that. If you want my yes, you're going to have to take that out, that's got to change, that's got to go. We can keep that. This bill is crazy. Y'all add so much foolishness to it that even the other people that might be on foolishness with you, it's like, that's too crazy. We can't do that. Because the country got to stand for me too. You know, I live here too. That's going to mess all us up. You can't do that. So since you're inept, just put Republicans in there. Maybe they can get something done. Because you keep telling me that you can't get anything done. That you don't know, you as the executive branch of the government, you don't know how to talk to the legislative branch. When that's been the setup of the United States government since its inception. This one didn't know how a bill was passed. That let me know everything I needed to know. Because I know you ain't talking to nobody because that's how a bill get passed. But Democrats like to do what? Twist people's arms. force you to believe things, say things, just like they like to force everything. They like to force everything. You better vote Democrat. You better vote this way. You better let us teach your children X, Y, and Z in school. You better do this and you better do that. And you're not a good American. You're not Black. You're not a good person. You're a racist. You're a fascist. And any other derogatory term that they can call somebody, depending on who they talking to, if you don't agree with everything that they throw down. No matter how it impact you, no matter how you feel about it, no matter if it go against your core values as a person, no matter how you're affected, they want to whoop you over the head to go for everything that they go for, that they say you're supposed to go for. And people tired. Don't nobody want to hear that. I don't want to be called anything. I don't want to be called nothing. Try to shame you for thinking for yourself. Anybody who vote for Trump is crazy. Why gotta be a name? For them to always be talking about tolerance, they're the most intolerant group of people. Name calling, always want a handout and somebody to be nice to them. But they're not nice. They're not nice. They're not calm. They're not accepting of other people's viewpoint. This is why you got so many Black households, families, friends divided. You got Black people, some not really wanting to expose that, hey, I voted for Trump, man. Why would you vote for Trump? See, ain't nobody trying to have no little crazy reaction. Ain't nobody trying to hear your mouth. Like we not grown. Nobody in the Black community should be in a family gathering, not able to really talk, because it's just like, if I say what I really want to say, it's going to be a whole big thing. I don't even feel like doing all of that with y'all. It's not even that I'm scared to say it. It's just that it's going to be a bit, I was having a good time. I don't want to have to argue with all y'all and cut y'all off. But then they make you do it. Exactly, babe. You don't love your mom. Your mama Black. Like, what is y'all talking about? And Black women love this kind of foolishness. They crashing out all over the internet because we not focused on female foolishness no more. We not focused on that. We had enough of that. We did that already. You had your chance to show everybody what you was made of. And it's made of foolishness. And we don't want to hear it. These females is actually the ones made of snips and snails and puppy dog tails. Not the men. Y'all are not sugar and spice and everything nice. Y'all are the snips and the snails. Let's get that straight. That little nursery rhyme had it all messed up. These hyenas is the snips and snails and the puppy dog tails. Because they want people to continue to vote and continue to support foolishness as they run on a feelings platform. This was what Kamala and the way she presented and the way that campaign was run. is exactly why everybody's tired and why no more Democrats, no more. Y'all will be few and far in between. Few and far in between because it's silly. So busy trying to run an agenda that you didn't even bother to talk about the things that Americans is concerned about. We not concerned about y'all coochie and y'all deleting babies today. That's not the biggest concern. When folks' rent can't hardly be paid, when folks' bills can't hardly be paid, when folks, stinching and all that kind of stuff for food. When 1,500 people just got laid off the other day in a New York tires plant, when hundreds of workers across the United States, Pepsi shut down their plants, one in Chicago, a couple of them in Pittsburgh, and all of that type of stuff. These people have lost their job. Don't nobody care about y'all popping coochie at the Planned Parenthood. That is the least of our worries. That is the least of our concerns. We are not concerned because you're going to pop coochie no matter what. So we ain't worried about that. Okay? You want somebody to study, be worried about that little funk box. Ain't nobody worried about that funk box. We've been trying to tell you how to deal with it. You don't want to hear it. You woman, you do what you want to do. So do what you want to do. The rest of us that's living in the real world, we don't want to hear about your coochie. Okay? Is that all right with you, ma'am? Is it all right if we spend a little time not talking about your coochie? Can we spend a little time talking about how we going to get this economy back together and how we going to get this employment back up and how we going to get this inflation down and how we going to get these illegals out of here? We talk about that. That's why Trump won. Because when he talked, yeah, he said this and that about Kamala, but the reality is when he really was talking, he was talking about the stuff that people was concerned about. Because it affects people everyday life. Your coochie don't affect my everyday life, ma'am. Okay? You need to be trying to figure, you needed to have voted for Trump because a lot of y'all is hoes. And if the economy go down, a lot of these tricks and johns can't pay. So you ain't thinking straight either. Because if you hoeing, who gonna buy it if there ain't nobody got no money? Huh? Who gonna buy it? Who gonna buy that? Who gonna buy that little box? Nobody. Because ain't nobody got no money, because ain't nobody got no job. The Matrix was so deep that they really, really thought that sending her out, Kamala, I'm talking about, to say the exact same thing on every interview was gonna fly. I grew up in a middle-class family, okay? With people that were proud of their lives. Yeah. They thought that was gonna fly. They thought that was gonna resonate with the people. That is how low the Democratic Party thought that they had brought everybody's intelligence. That's how low that they had. They thought they had gotten the majority of people down to that level of intelligence. You know who the only majority that was still in that mind frame was Black women. Everybody else trying to break out of the matrix, you fighting to stay in it. This is why the lions and the lionesses got to break away. The 20% of the black men, because that 80% of black men, that was interesting to me. It was still a vast majority. But I digress. Even though it was still a minority of black people overall that voted for Trump, it was still like a wake up to us, though. It was still that. It still managed to be a wake up for us. Even though it was overall a minority of us that did. But that minority this time was loud. This time the minority was loud. Because minority or not in terms of vote, we really was like, no, we're not doing the Democrat thing no more. We're not doing that no more. We done with that. We done with it. We done with it. The Democrats have to go regroup. Because we so done with it. I guarantee you the next election will also be rigged. Trump can't run anymore. So it might be Vance. It might be somebody else for the Republican candidate. And and especially if Trump do good, because it won't take much for him to do better than the Democrats have done. That it won't take much. All he got to do is keep us out of World War III. Putin already was like, he ready to chill. He ready to chill. He like, you know what? I'm gonna talk. I'm ready to talk. He been going ham. All the Republicans got to do is do a better job. Just if we can get a couple more dollars in our pocket, folks will be good. The American public will be like, okay, well, we gonna do that again. Because you can't, the Democrats didn't leave thinking people any choice. So many people who were lifelong Democrats voted Republican this time. Mainly because I can't agree to the madness. I can't do it. Not if I got any sense. If you're a voting person and you looked at the Democratic Party, not just Kamala, but the party itself, and then the Republican, they left you no choice but to say, I gotta vote red. I mean, for real, y'all? This is what you have. They hand you anything. Hand you any old body. They the ones that didn't uphold democracy. They put that woman in that place. And let me tell you something. Kamala didn't want to do that. The best speech she ever gave publicly was her concession speech. That was the best speech she gave. That was the only time that I saw her seem a bit more natural and a little bit more herself, whoever herself is. She seemed more relaxed. She seemed relieved that it was over. Kamala don't want to do no work. Kamala wants the paycheck and the clout, and she wants the title, but she don't want the accountability, just like a bunch of women. It's the demonstration of the women nowadays. Democracy, the Democrats, that's the boneyard. Let's just cut to the chase. The Democratic Party is the boneyard. That's the boneyard. And she personified it. Don't want to do no work. She just want to go around. She want to smile. She thinks going around and cheesing and that's enough. That's enough. It's been getting her by. It's been getting her by. So she figured it'd get her by this time too. What you mean? It can't get her by this time? Cause she sure tried it. She tried. Hey. She was so glad that them votes was over and she didn't have to sit there in that chair and act like she wanted to be the president. Now she can go home with her little hattie husband. She can go home with her little hattie husband and sit down and rub her feet together and cook her greens in the tub. She can go ahead on about her business. She done that. Baby, y'all try to put me in that seat. Now y'all know I wasn't qualified to be in that seat. I didn't want to be in it. She was glad vice president was high enough. She wasn't responsible for much. She didn't do much. She wasn't required to do much. And she was done. Y'all. Y'all know she was done. Let me get to these super chats, y'all. Thank you again, Farrah. Said you see Cardi B reaction and low-key threats. Thank you, Juan. Why are Black women allowed to live in their delusion while Black men have to live in their reality? Thank you, Chief Rocker, for your super stick. I appreciate you. Thank you, Well B said Jumu'ah Mubarak. Jumu'ah Kareem said now they are trying to use that mass text telling Black people to report to the plantation as proving a point about Trump and the Republicans. They are dug in with what they feel. When I seen a screenshot of that, the scream I scrumped, y'all, I hollered. That was hilarious. And before I get to the rest of these super chats, I'm going to tell you why it was funny. Because whoever spammed it, whoever spammed it, I'm glad they did that. And the reason I'm glad they did that is because y'all sitting up here acting like y'all scared. Y'all the ones sitting up here worried about being a slave. That being a slave has not entered into nobody else's mind. Not the Latinos, not the Asians, not nobody else. Only Negroes. Because y'all are already slaves in y'all head. y'all scared it's gonna play out. Only slaves think that they can be enslaved. Let that sink in. Only slaves think they can be enslaved. Nobody else even thinks it. Nobody thinks about that. I guarantee you, there is not no Latinos that's thinking, there's no Puerto Ricans, it ain't no Mexicans, it ain't no Nicaraguans, it ain't no Hondurans, and it ain't no West Indians thinking about it. They're not thinking about it. They sent it because black folks gonna be triggered by it. Thank you, Jason. Said leadership requires responsibility and accountability. Women that want to commonly lead with deletions. Why should people trust you to lead, to be accountable when you can't even be accountable for your womb? Good point. Thank you, Ranger One. Say hello. Cure question never presented to the candidates was their plans for the 60th anniversary of the Moynihan Report in 2025. First, they must explain, then give solutions. And once again, said, did you see The View today? They interviewed the first trans man elected to the House from Delaware. They didn't interview the two black female senators from Maryland and Delaware. Thank you, Ray. Said white women do not follow black women all the way because knocking their men off the pecking order knocks them down. Black women is just their spirit animal. Exactly. Thank you, Amin Ross. Good to see you. Another great session. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Raphael. Said black women vote for their interests, not the interests of black people. DEI, most companies is gone. They got tricked by Gloria Steinem. Thank you, Tokyo. Said the Democratic Party is the Titanic. Black women, the band, playing violins while the ship sinks. Thank you, Jason. Said Crimson, those polls also show how stubborn black people are. Black people voted 85% Democrat when every other race was around 50. Hards, and stiff-necked. Thank you, Bernard. Said if 100% of black people voted Dem, they still would have lost. We are only 14% of the population. Black women think we are 50% of the population. Whites and Hispanics are the new coalition. The black vote is irrelevant now. You can't tell them that. Oh, you can't tell them that. Thank you, Scorched Earth. Said the disconnect is real. Thank you, James Mitchell. Said why is Kendra the only black woman talking good sense? Thank you again, Pharaoh. Said can you run for president? Yo, Coochie. Thank you, Baby Funk. Said 5 decades of hyena Miss Andrews finally enough for the brothers. Thank you, Yanisa. Said deletions was at 11% down a list of important topics. This was a spiritual battle, and the most high won. Evil lost. Candace Owens exposed her. Thank you, Bernard. Said remember these are exit polls. Black men who voted with their black female family members probably said they voted them when asked upon exit to keep the peace. Secret Trump voters. Thank you, King Mad Max. Said you would think she know how to talk given a law degree and experience in law. Proof a degree doesn't mean anything. Exactly. Thank you, Wiggy Will. So on a side note, black folks are in a very strong position going in 26-28 because if they don't come correct, they're going to be holding that L again. Thank you, HVAC. Said black women after this election have become politically irrelevant and extinct. Come 2028, there will be a new backbone for Democrats. It won't be black women. Thank you, Bertram. Said Kamala will now become as irrelevant as Sarah Palin is. Soon she will be forgotten washing greens. And Derek Meary said it is great to be a passport bro. Trump 2024. I appreciate everyone. I'm having a little bit of hope, even if I want to say this. Even though as a collective, our vote is no longer relevant in terms of swaying. I got to rephrase that because 2024 is the year of truth. This election proved our vote was never as relevant as we thought it was. It was never as relevant. It was never as relevant. The only thing, that was another lie that the Democrats was saying. It was never as relevant as we thought. Because all the white people wasn't voting. When I tell you, I seen videos of the Amish, they was in their buggies. They was in their horse and carriage. Literally, the horse, the carriage, Trump signs, they was headed to the polls. In a whole caravan. They literally did that. It never mattered as much as Black women specifically thought that it did. They pat you on the head just like they patted Stacey Abrams on the head last election. She flipped Georgia blue, but it's red today. Pat them on the head and give them a butter biscuit. Y'all did so good, Black women. Ooh, y'all did so good. Ooh, look at you. Look at the little Black women. But they look so good. And then walk off from you. Don't pay you no attention to the next election and make you think that your vote meant something. As a collective, Black people squandered every opportunity we had these last 60 to 70 years to rise up. We squandered it. That's why I detest feminism so much, because it truly destabilizes. It can destabilize an entire nation. And it destabilized Black people. It destroyed us. It completely destroyed us. And people will think that that's such a simplistic statement that can't be true. It's definitely true. It's definitely true. Because even now, they prove that they can't break out, can't stop thinking that way. And it's a destructive thing. It just destroys you. We squandered it. We were so busy. We as a collective of people, and I'm speaking in general here, we were so busy hoping and wishing and praying that this government would help us or give us something or right the tremendous wrong that was done to our ancestors. We were so invested in the unfairness of it all and the injustices of it all that we couldn't get past it. We couldn't get past it in order to toil our way up as much as we could, even though we knew that the system is unjust. We know it's unfair. We know. Nobody's saying that it's not. No, nobody's saying that we even gotta forgive it. But we can't stay where we are, though, without moving. And like, no, I'm stuck because y'all did us wrong, so y'all gotta make it right. Theoretically. We know it was done wrong. We know. But with that knowledge, we're not going to turn that knowledge into kinetic energy and move with it. We're not going to do that. We're not going to move. We're not going to turn the kinetic energy and make it move. We got to move. We here now. Regardless of how your ancestors got here. Really regardless of how they were treated. We here now. What we going to do about it now? The fact that no matter what administration was in that office, the hood was still the hood. And it don't change unless they come in and gentrify it. That's the problem right there. We shouldn't have let it happen like that. Nobody's coming to save us. We gotta save us. There's nobody coming. There's nobody coming. Nobody's coming. We gotta be there. We gotta do it. That's what pull yourself up by the bootstraps really mean. You gotta do it. No, there's nobody coming to save you. Pray to God. Get your spiritual house in order. Trust in him and then do the work. Because that's all you got. You ain't got nothing else. What else you got? What other modus operandi are we gonna use? Because voting for them all them years. Voting for Democrats did what for us? What it do? What it do? All that loyalty, all that shaming each other with it, and all of that. How did that help? How did that help us? How did that help us collectively as a group of people? What did we benefit from that? Our homes shambles. We don't even barely like each other as men and women. We can't hardly get along. Can't agree how to raise our kids. Can't come together in no type of way. Not as a family, not professionally, we can't do it. So what we supposed to do? We let all of these ideals infiltrate and then destroy. Never once waking up, only just a few of us at a time. Waking up and seeing, wait a minute, this is not right. We got to do something better than that. And for those of us who shook out of it, it was like you couldn't go back to help other people shake out of it, because as soon as you shake out of the matrix, you're the enemy now for coming back and telling them this is fake, y'all. The matrix is not real. All the stuff that you think is going on, it's not really happening like that. That's not really the real world. You know, other people don't operate like this, right? There's a whole different thing going on. When we come out of our environment, when we get our head out of the sand, the world is doing something else and other people are prospering. We're not prospering because we don't understand that. And I'm trying to help you understand it. And then you become the enemy. The matrix is not real, y'all. But you gotta do how they was doing. They was going in and out of the matrix, making the matrix do what they wanted it to do. Neo and Morpheus and them, they were making it do what they wanted it. They went into the matrix when they wanted to, with the understanding that I'm in the matrix now. So certain things work a certain way over here. So if I want to do certain stuff, I'm going to play the game, but at minimum, I'm not going to do it blind. I'm not going to do it blind. I'm going to play the game and know it's the game. That was the whole symbolism between of him dodging all the bullets and flying when he wanted, because it's not really real. I actually can control the fact that I know it's not real. Gives me power. Now I can go in and out of it, get stuff I want out of it, get the benefit out of it, and come out. Instead of letting the Matrix manipulate me, I'm just gonna manipulate it to my benefit. And when I'm done doing it, I'll come out of the Matrix. That was the significance of the symbolism in the movie. Now I got to run all the commercials back to back. After these messages, we'll be right back, because I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to keep your skin looking and smelling its absolute best, look no further than ashkicking.com. Go to the link right now. Go get your body butter, get your lip moisturizer, your face moisturizer, your aluminum-free deodorant, all the wonderful things. If it's going to be your first purchase, please take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson. Once again, the link is at the top of the chat. Hurry, because that link will not be there forever. Let me get to the super chats. While I'm getting to the super chats, somebody put up the link for Black Men Zone for me. The link is in the description. We'll go ahead and put that link, blackmenzone.com, please. Let me get to the super chats. Thank you, Miss Nicole. I appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you, Scorched Earth. Said it's the scariest thing to be obsolete. Yes. Thank you, Sana, for your contribution. Thank you, Blue. Said the Matrix lost value system has been getting exposed all through this year, from Cat Williams to the Kendrick Drake beef to the 2024 election. Glad more of us are finally waking up. Thank you, Bernard. Says solution. Black people should all become independents, forcing Dems to offer policies for our backbone vote. With that, offer policies to Hispanics that will form a coalition that will include our interests. Thank you once again, Scorched Earth. Said we had the blueprint, Dr. Claude Anderson. Exactly. Thank you so much. Omni Design said, unfortunately, the African-American people are the guinea pigs of society, for the lack of a better word. My Black brothers and sisters have too much influence to be manipulated. Let's learn from this and focus on family, not division. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Demetrius. Our vote is not obsolete nor irrelevant. Thank you, NS. It's been a while, but keep up the great work. Most High bless you always. And thank you so much. I appreciate your generous contribution. Everybody put NS in the chat. Thank you as well. Omni Design said, divide and conquer is no more. The people have spoken. We must unite and go back to family values. I appreciate your generous contribution as well. And thank you, Lydell. So I'm glad. Good for them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of the contribution, for you guys coming out, showing up and showing out for me. I appreciate you. We got so much wonderful content on the way, because this whole debacle that just happened with this election has so many things to be extracted from it, lessons for our people. And I intend to bring them to the forefront. But before we go, here we go.
Hey, brothers, I want to tell you about a website called blackmenszone.com. Now, Black Men's Zone is a site that specifically targets black men. It's a place where black men talk about issues that solely affect them. Now, at Black Men's Zone, the topics will range from news to society, sports, technology, business, food and recipes. Some brothers got to cook too. Gaming, and some of your brothers like doing some of that. Health and fitness, got to get your workout on. Music, movies, and many other topics. Now, there's not many forums around these days for black men, and because black men have to create them. Now, this particular website is more of a forum based, something simple, not social media. You can write what you need to write, say what you need to say, get on, get off pretty quick. But if you're interested, brothers, to at least go there, and I want you to check it out, engage in the topics, go to blackmenszone.com, sign up for an account, and get engaged in the conversation.
So everyone, especially the brothers, go and click the link for Black Men's Zone, which is a forum specifically for the men. And let's help the brother get to his goal of 1,300 registered users. And once you register, which is free to do, please engage in the forum. Make it an active forum so that people will want to go and engage in meaningful conversations, thoughtful conversations. It'll be like barbershop talk. This is a place where the men can go. The women don't have to be involved in the conversation. I know that there are very, very few sacred spaces on or offline for men anymore. And we can make this one of those online safe spaces for men, particularly black men. So please go ahead, click the link at the top of the chat for Black Men's Zone, register and participate with the Brothers Forum. Couple more super chats. Thank you once again, like Dale said, the Plantation, and thank you, Dre the Dream, for your contribution. I appreciate everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, it's the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.